Good evening, I'm Floyd, and you're watching Foxy Global News. Today, we're covering a developing story that could reshape not just the Middle East, but global politics, energy markets, and international security as a whole. Tensions between the United States and Iran have reached a critical point, and according to senior U.S. officials, this conflict may be approaching its final stage within the next few weeks. But the big question remains: are we heading toward resolution or toward a larger and more dangerous escalation? Over the past several weeks, the United States and its allies have launched an extensive military campaign targeting Iran's military infrastructure. This is not a limited operation. It is a large-scale strategic effort aimed at significantly weakening Iran's military capabilities and restricting its long-term nuclear ambitions. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has stated that the United States is very close to achieving its objectives and suggested that the operation could be wrapped up within 2 to 4 weeks. While that sounds decisive, the situation on the ground remains complex and unpredictable. The scale of this operation is significant. Reports indicate that more than 10,000 military targets have been struck, with over 850 Tomahawk missiles deployed. A large portion of Iran's missile infrastructure has either been destroyed or severely damaged. These strikes have focused on key assets, including missile launch sites, drone facilities, military bases, and communication networks. One of the most notable developments in this conflict is the use of emerging warfare technology. The United States has deployed remote-controlled explosive boats, high-speed unmanned systems designed to detonate on impact. These systems are more cost-effective than traditional missiles and represent a shift toward modern, automated warfare strategies. Now turning to one of the most strategically important locations in this conflict, the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the world's most critical oil transit routes. Any disruption here could send global oil prices soaring and impact economies worldwide. The region is now becoming a focal point of military activity. The United States has deployed the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier to the Arabian Sea. This massive warship, often described as a floating military base, is supported by submarines, advanced fighter jets, and marine units, all positioned for rapid deployment. In the air, the U.S. has established strong operational control. Advanced aircraft such as the F-35 and F-15 Strike Eagles are conducting long-range precision missions deep inside Iranian territory. These aircraft are designed for speed, accuracy, and the ability to strike both ground and aerial targets effectively. At the same time, Israel has intensified its involvement in the conflict. Israeli forces have targeted Iran's missile production facilities, steel plants, and nuclear-related infrastructure. These operations are adding further pressure on Iran's military and industrial systems. However, the most critical issue at the center of this conflict remains Iran's nuclear program. Despite ongoing strikes, reports suggest that several key nuclear sites remain intact. Uranium stockpiles are believed to be stored deep underground in heavily fortified locations. This raises serious concerns for the international community. U.S. officials have made it clear that any potential agreement must include strict limitations or even the complete dismantling of Iran's nuclear program, along with significant restrictions on its missile capabilities. The concern is that a nuclear-armed Iran could pose a major threat to global stability. At the same time, diplomatic efforts are still ongoing. Negotiations between the United States and Iran continue, but progress appears slow. One of the key challenges is communication, as much of Iran's leadership is reportedly operating from secure underground locations. Some analysts believe these negotiations may be more about buying time than reaching a final agreement. Several experts have expressed doubts about the likelihood of a successful deal. From the U.S. perspective, Iran is under increasing pressure. However, Iran has signaled that it is prepared for a prolonged conflict. Recent developments include Iranian missile and drone strikes targeting a Saudi airbase, where American personnel were reportedly injured. This indicates that Iran still retains the ability to respond and is not fully neutralized. Global reactions to the conflict remain mixed. Gulf nations are calling for a decisive outcome, urging the United States to eliminate Iran's missile capabilities entirely. China is closely monitoring the situation due to its reliance on stable oil routes. Russia's involvement appears limited at this stage, while Western allies continue to support the United States but remain cautious about escalation. Looking ahead, there are several possible scenarios. One scenario is a diplomatic resolution, where Iran agrees to limit or dismantle its nuclear and missile programs in exchange for sanctions relief. This could lead to de-escalation. Another possibility is a prolonged, limited conflict, involving continued strikes and slow-moving negotiations. The most concerning scenario is a full-scale regional war, where multiple countries become involved, leading to widespread instability. At this point, the United States appears to hold a military advantage. However, Iran has not been fully defeated and may still possess capabilities that could shift the situation. Experts agree that the coming weeks will be critical. The decisions made during this time could shape the future of the Middle East and have lasting effects on global security and economic stability. This is not just a regional issue. It is a global concern. We will continue to monitor developments and bring you the latest updates as they unfold. I'm Floyd, and you've been watching Foxy Global News. If you want accurate and timely global coverage, make sure to follow and stay connected. We'll see you in the next update. Stay safe.